All right, so I'm gonna walk through some of the supplies that we need to tap our trees to make some lovely maple syrup. We've been doing this for about 5 years. I'm gonna share what I do, and I'll share some links to some of the stuff that I use to help you guys out if you're looking to get started. I'm not a professional, but I'm a hobbyist and I have a lot of fun and I get a lot of really good feedback. So first thing you'll need is a drill with a bit. I use the 5/16 inch Spiles for tapping with the 5/16 ID tubing. So I'll get a drill. What I do is I tape off my depth with some electrical tape. I've got 2 inches here, basically ensuring that I don't go too deep on the tap. I don't want to damage the tree. And I've used this specific maple tapping bit, which works really well. It's nice and sharp. The flutes are designed so it spits the chips out really nice. You get a pretty good clean hole when you're tapping the tree. If you don't want to spend the extra on the specific bit, you can use a standard 5/16 drill bit, but I would make sure that it's really sharp and make sure that the wood chips and stuff are out of the hole, that you don't have that plugging up your line and stuff. Then you need a tap or a spile. I've got 3 different styles actually. So I've got this CDL style metal tap. It works pretty well, pretty robust year over year, easy to clean, boil them, clean them up. This clear CDL, like a plastic style, it's pretty hard. This works really well. Also, you can see the flow. It's got a nice angle to it, so it directs the tube away from the tree. And it's got a nice little edge on it, so when you're pulling it back out of the tree at the end of the season, it's easy to remove. Then the style that I'm trying this year, this Sap Happy molded plastic part, I'm really impressed with the quality of these, with the barbs fit onto the tubing really nice, and I'm going to give those a try this year. Found those at a pretty good price on Amazon as well from a company called Sap Happy. So I'm going to give them a try. But the other things that you're going to need, once you have the spiles, a drill bit for the tree, you need some tubing to connect to the spile. I use this clear tubing so I can see what's going on in there. And a lot of people use like a blue tubing, prevent some of the UV from deteriorating the sap. But I've had no issues with the clear tubing. That works really nice. It's really flexible. This style is really flexible and easy for me to weave around and connect into my buckets. So the bucket, I have food grade buckets. You can actually pick these up from bakeries. Any bakery will have some food grade vanilla buckets from like buttercream frosting, pickle buckets, donut glaze. They're usually recycling those. What I'll do is I'll take and I'll drill 1/2 inch hole. I do it on the side of the lip. I kind of talk about that later in my video, but I put that down on the side, not on the top. Some people do it on the top, but I find that if it rains, water builds up, or snows, it's going to build up and then drain into your bucket. You're less likely to have water run down the hose into the side of the bucket, especially if you have a nice tight fit. So I typically will set up between around 100 buckets is what I did last year. I'm shooting to do 150 this year. So I've got a lot of buckets, a lot of tube, a lot of spiles. And the other tools that you're going to need is a hammer to gently tap those spiles into the tree, and a pair of scissors or a method to cut the tubing to length to go from your tap to the bucket. I don't recommend scissors because I actually found they weren't strong enough and I broke the scissors, so kind of a bummer. I should use something a little bit stronger. I had to switch to the pocket knife at that point, which is all right, but you should really be safe. You don't want to cut yourself out there. To drill the buckets, I use this nice step drill, pretty sharp, but a 1/2 inch drill is really all you need. So those are all the tools that you need to tap a tree and collect the sap out of the tree. I'm gonna take you out on a little adventure, show you how I've got the first tree set up, and then later in the process, as the sap is collected, I'll walk you through some of the other pieces that I've done, some improvements that I've made over the last few years on how to evaporate the sap more quickly and make a good quality product. So That's all I've got today. Thanks for following. I'll throw some more videos up and walk you through the process on how to make maple syrup.